Good evening, I'm Cynthia Arsenault. If passed, many who are homeless could be subject to a fine or imprisonment. KPLC's Caleb Carter spoke with local activists for their reaction.
And arresting somebody for sleeping outside, that's totally wrong. That should be illegal.
For years, lawmakers have sought to provide an answer to the issue of homelessness. Representative Debbie Villio believes her new proposal could be a step in the right direction.
Not looking to jail anyone. We're looking to integrate them with the criminal justice system in an effort to connect them to service providers.
If passed, the bill would create a homelessness court program designed to rehabilitate those arrested for violating the new law. The program would provide exceptions for certain entrants, but according to a homeless couple, the bill still misses one key component: compassion.
But if they was to walk in our shoes, they
would experience the things that we go through day after day.
Alexis Gray moved to tears.
It wouldn't be right to arrest me because I'm homeless. That's just the bottom line.
I want to start this episode off with a similar story as the one you just watched. A real story. Like, this has stuck with me for years. And when I first heard about the HB 211 bill in Louisiana, I immediately thought of this old man I encountered during one of the most pivotal times in my life. Well, once upon a time, I was incarcerated. And that's the influence behind my nonprofit, Rugged Past Righteous Future. And part of the influence behind this podcast that you're watching here today, Rugged Talk. Well, on my last day of prison, they brought all the inmates up to the visitation room for release. They separate us two different sides. They put the people that's being transported on the bus on one side and the people that's waiting on your family on the other side, family and friends to come pick you up. Well, I noticed this older man, he was bawling, crying his eyes out. And it struck me like, I couldn't figure out, like, why would you be crying on the day of your release? So I walked over to him like, hey, old school, like, why are you crying? Like, you about to go home. You 10 minutes away from being a free man. And he looked at me and he said something I will never forget in my life. He said, you are about to go home. You have family on the way to come pick you up and take you to your house. I'm about to ride a bus to homelessness. Everyone I know has passed away. I'm leaving like 20 years of my life I have built behind these prison walls to go home, go back to a world I don't even know anymore. Here I know the system has to feed me, the system have to clothe me, the system have to give me a place to stay. That's why I'm crying. Sit with that for a second. That man was afraid of freedom, not because he loved prison, but because the outside world had already told him there was nothing out there for him. And the cruelest part is he's right. Stay with me. After the intro, we're going to dive into the HB 211 bill and the effects it will cause. I think you guys are going to really, really like this episode.
New way, South Carolina raised me. The struggle gave me vision. Every scar on my back became a part of my mission. They locked brothers up and forgot them in the system. I said not on my watch. Started RPRF to lift them. Safe harbor for the women, second chances for the men. Rugged past don't define you, you can rise again. This is Rugged Talk. No filter, no facade, just a man and a mic and the truth of where we are. Rugged Talk, culture, community, real. If you lived it, you know it. This is how it feels.
Louisiana just passed the House Bill 211. They're calling it Streets to Success Act. And I want you to pay very close attention to that name because that name is designed to make you feel good about something that should really be making you furious. HB 211 creates the offense of unauthorized camping on public property, meaning sleeping outside is now a criminal offense in Louisiana. They fine up to $500, possibly imprisonment up to 6 months, or both. Repeat offenders, they get 1 or 2 years in prison with hard labor. Think about that, hard labor in 2026 in America. But here's where it gets even more sinister. The bill requires homeless people to pay for treatment that they are forced into. And if they cannot pay it, they must perform unpaid labor for the government or community organizations to work off the debt. Let me say that one more time for you to understand what I'm saying. They are using slavery loophole in the Constitution to criminalize poverty, excuse me, in a state with one of the highest incarceration in the world rates in the world. You can't make none of that up. Now, here's the part of that nobody wants to talk about. The part that connects directly to that old man crying in that visitation room and the people on the previous video. What HB 211 actually does, whether intentionally or not, it makes the prison system the most reliable safety net for the most vulnerable people in this country. Think of if you're homeless, mentally ill, got addictions, you're isolated, or if you aged out of any support system, what does the world on the outside offer you? Fines you can't pay, shelters that are full, jobs you can't get because of your record, housing you can't access because of your background. And here's the kicker. Louisiana has no protections for housing discrimination for people with records. So having any arrest makes it harder to you to access the very housing you need to get out of homelessness. So they arrest you for being homeless, give you a record, which makes it harder for you to get housing, which keeps you homeless, which gets your ass arrested again. That's not a mistake. That's a machine. And once you understand that, you'll start to see the psychological warfare embedded in all of it. The system becomes the place where your basic needs met and guaranteed. And when the only institution that feeds you, shelter you, and gives you community is the one that's supposed to be punishing you, you're going to stop fighting it. You start depending on it. And when I think back to that old man, he wasn't weak that day. He was rational. He had done the math the system forces all our people to do. And we cannot have this conversation without naming who this is targeting. The National Homelessness Law Center called it HB 211 one of the most cruelest anti-homeless bills in the country, saying it clearly invokes death to prisons, convicted leasing, and the ugliest days of Jim Crow. Louisiana, a state that in 2025 used armed agents to round up and house black residents before the Super Bowl, so the wealthiest wouldn't even have to see them. A state where redistricting battles have gone all the way up to the Supreme Court over dilution on black political power. Under HB 211, the internment camps. This bill creates only can be placed where they won't affect property values, which puts them far from jobs, public transit, and service. Out of sight, out of mind, out of power. And this is not about saving any money. The New Orleans council member pointed out that housing someone costs roughly $21,844 per year. Shelling that same person costs $51,000. This goes straight beyond the most expensive option, while producing no lasting housing, no real services, and no path forward. If it's not about saving money, and if it's not about solving the homelessness, then what is it about? Control, labor, and keeping the permanent underclass cycling through a system that profits from their suffering. This is why the work we do at Rugged Past Righteous Future is not a charity. It's a resistance. Because when we build transitional housing, we're not just giving someone a bed. We're breaking the cycle. We're removing someone from the machine that was been designed to keep them dependent and disposable. The old man that I met in the visitation room, the people at the beginning of this video, they deserve a safe harbor. They deserve someone who had walked that road before them to say, hey, there's something out there waiting for you. HB 211 tells homeless people, you don't belong anywhere, where our work says the opposite. If this episode hits home, share it, because the people this law is targeting, they don't have a platform, but we do. Please visit www.ruggedpastrighteousfuture.org to see our services. This is Adrian, and this has been Rugged Talk.
New way, South Carolina raised me. The struggle gave me vision. Every scar on my back became a part of my mission. They locked brothers up and forgot them in the system. I said not on my watch. Started RPRF to lift them. Safe harbor for the women, second chances for the men. Rugged past don't define you, you can rise again. This is Rugged Talk. No filter, no facade, just a man and a mic, and the truth of where we are. Culture, community, real. If you lived it, you know it. This is how it feels. Play